Okay, in this section 7.5, what we're doing is we're analyzing graphs of quadratic functions. Okay, let's review a little bit. Some things that we should already know is that a very simple quadratic function is f of x equals x squared, right? Once again, what makes it quadratic is the fact that it has a power of 2. All right, you should also know the domain to this. All right, our domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. All right, and you should know that the shape of this graph is a U shape, right? It can be U going up or a U going down. Once again, this U-shaped graph is called a parabola. Right, so this is some material that we learned in the past. What we're going to do is we're going to really analyze this, right? Get a little deeper in depth with our quadratic functions. So let's talk about some more things when it comes to a quadratic function. Let's take a look at just maybe something like this, right? This quadratic function. A quadratic function can have a here lowest point, which is called the minimum. Or if it goes the other way, right, it has a highest point. And that highest point is called the maximum. Either way, the minimum or the maximum point, we refer to it as the vertex. All right, so the minimum or the maximum is the vertex. But notice that there is a minimum when it opens up, and there is a maximum when it opens down. All right, so really understand those two things. As we continue with this parabola, let's just stick to this one maybe right here. All right, there is this imaginary dotted line, right, that runs through the vertex. Right, this imaginary dotted line is known as the axis of symmetry. And this axis of symmetry is like a mirror, right? You can fold your graph and the graph will overlap, right? So the axis of symmetry will always be found in a quadratic function, and it's always going to be an equation. The equation will always be x equals the x value of the vertex. Also, going back to the minimum or maximum, right? The minimum or maximum will be the y value of the vertex. But notice that the axis of symmetry is an equation, and the minimum or the maximum is just a y value. This is just a number. Okay, so some important things to understand. Okay, so quadratic functions are easy to sketch if the function is in the form f of x equals a open parentheses x minus h close parentheses to the power of 2 plus k. So if a quadratic function is in this form, it's very easy to sketch. This a value, right? Also, before we talk about that, I want to note that A, H, and K are just numbers. Okay? So let's talk about the A value first. Right? If A is positive, your graph's going to open up. If A is negative, your graph's going to open down. All right, so that's the first thing. That's your A. Your H. If your H is positive, your graph shifts. If it's positive, it shifts left. I'm going to take that back. Oh, what happened here? How can I erase that? It shifts left from 0, 0. If it's negative, it shifts right from 0, 0. Okay, so that's your H. Your K, if it's positive, it shifts up from 0, 0. And if it's negative, it shifts down from 0, 0. So once again, what we're doing is we're taking a look at this equation, or function, and looking at our A, right, our H, and our K. And you see what A, we're looking at it being positive or negative. H, we're looking at positive or negative. K, we're looking at positive or negative. Also, something really important to understand is that the H and the K value tell you the vertex numbers. So whatever your H is will be the opposite of H, will be the X value, and your Y value will be K. All right. All right, so let's take a look at some examples. I want you to sketch. Let me see what I can find here. Some nice examples in your book. Let's say I ask you to sketch, we'll go with example A. How about y equals 2, open parentheses, x minus 4, close parentheses, to the power of 2 minus 1. I'd ask you to sketch this. You can see it's in the correct form, right? Once again, we want it always to be, all right, we're always looking for this form. And that's what it looks like. That's our A, this is our H, and that's our K. All right. So because the A is positive, this is going to open up. Right. All right. Once again, A is positive. It opens up. What's our H value? Our H is negative 4. Because H is a negative, it's going to shift right. So this is telling us it's going to go to right. And our k is a -1. And because k is a negative, it shifts down. So this is going to tell us it goes down. Remember, all this stuff happens from 0, 0. So here is our point. Here's our graph. If here is 0, 0, we're going to go to the right 4, right? We go to the right 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go down 1. We go down 1. So here you go. And then it tells us that it opens up. So opens up. All right. This will tell you the vertex. All right. Once again, your vertex, taking a look right here, it's the opposite of h. If your h is -4, the opposite of -4 is a +4. Right? Your k will be y, right? So your k, your y, your k is -1. So that's your vertex. Right? Because of the fact that the graph opens up, right, you know your minimum. Right? Once again, going back, when it opens up, you know your minimum, and your minimum is the y value of the vertex. So your minimum is -1. You even know your axis of symmetry, right? Going back again, axis of symmetry is going to be x equals an equation. X equals the x value of the vertex. I'll take this off. So it's x equals x value of the vertex is 4. There we go. So some nice information we were able to do there. Once again, this is just a little sketch. How about example B? How about this time we go with y equals a -1/2, open parentheses, x plus 3, close parentheses, to the power of 2 plus 4. Your a is a negative, so because it's the negative, it's going to open down. Your h is a positive, and because it's positive, it's going to go to the left. All right, this is different from her. Okay, and this time your k is a positive, which means it's going to open up. All right, so we get this information. All right, so we should be able to sketch this. Once again, from 0, 0, we go to the left 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Right? We go up 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it opens down. So again, it's a sketch, not to be exact. Right? We also know our vertex from here. It's whatever this is, but the opposite. So it's -3, and then specifically what that is, so that's a 4. Right, this number gives us axis of symmetry. This number, because of the fact that it opens down now, tells us the max value. All right, so a nice example there. Another example here, C. How about we do something like y equals negative, open parentheses, x plus 3, close parentheses, to the power of 2. All right, this example a little bit more interesting because it doesn't look like it has everything. But we should be able to do the same thing here. All right, our a, it's just a minus, so we know that that means a -1. Right, open parentheses, x plus 3, close parentheses, power 2. There's no number out here, so we can definitely say a 0. right? So now we know that our A is a minus negative number, so it goes down. Our H is a positive 3, so when it's a plus, it goes to the left, so it's going to go to the left 3. Our K here is 0, which means it's not going to move at all, right? It just stays at 0. Right, and there we go. Okay, so we go to the left, 1, 2, 3. We don't go up, we don't go down, we just stay there, right? And it's going to go down. So again, all we're doing is sketching, right? It's definitely not exact yet. We'll take a look at some exact ones here shortly. From here, you know your vertex. It's the opposite of this, minus 3, and it's whatever that is. You know axis of symmetry. You know, once again, it's opening down, so you know the max value. Okay, and one last one here, D. How about y equals x squared minus 3? All right. Another interesting one, because it doesn't have, it's not in the correct form. There's no parentheses at all, right? We only have a binomial here, so we can definitely rewrite this as a 1, open parentheses, x plus 0 squared minus 3, because x plus 0 is just x, right, to the power of 2 minus 3. All right, that equals y, and that's just really y equals x squared minus 3, which is what our problem was. All right, so let's go back here. Okay, so we know A is positive, so it goes up. Right, this time our H is 0, so it just stays at 0. Our K is negative, right, so this tells us it's going to go down 3 times. Okay, so our graph stays at 0, but it goes down 1, 2, 3. Right, so it doesn't go left, doesn't go right, stays there, but it goes down. So here we go, and it opens up. Okay, vertex. Well, the opposite of 0 is still 0. Our K, this time it went down 3, so we can put minus 3. All right, we know axis of symmetry. X equals 0. And we also now know the, this time it opens up, so this is a minimum value. It's negative 3. And on the next video, I'll show you how to graph exactly. And also look at a different form.